Welcome to episode 4 of Build a Nation, in which we are in Finland managing TPS. We're trying to build up the nation of Finland to be a powerhouse in Europe, both club-wise with our club TPS and in the European Championships and World Cup. It's going to take a lot of time to get this done. We need to get the facilities upgraded, but that's all going to come in due time. And of course, we need to get the finances to start booming over in this relatively poor country in terms of income from football. So in the last game that we left off with, the result was a 2-1 loss at home, our first home game of the season in the league, to FC Honka. Really disappointed. We had a good turnout. We couldn't give the fans what they wanted. Was also on the TV as well, which is a nice little bit of income. Might be 5k, but at this level and the finances going around in this country at the moment, that's fantastic. That's every bit is helpful to us. But we lost 2-1. We dominated the game from what I remember, or at least had a majority of the shots and all that kind of stuff. A poor game. We didn't finish our chances. I think we had almost like 2.7 xg, if I remember rightly. So we should have won. We didn't. We move on. So finishing training was due for the boys. We then went over to Nistan, who was a thorn in our side last season. I think we lost, drew, and I think we won in the promotion group stage to come up to this level. But they again seem difficult to break down for some reason. I just don't know why we can never beat them. We had pretty much a balanced game, I'd say. Pipped them in possession, which I guess has been happening recently, so it's almost nothing new at this point. It's a little bit concerning. We did have a disallowed goal. They had a lot of yellow cards. We maybe should have tried to press to put some pressure on these guys because especially these two, was early bookings. The disallowed goal didn't happen. I think it was quite a tight one, if I remember rightly, so it could have went in our favour, but unfortunately it didn't, and that was the only goal of the game. Next up, we went to SJK, and we absolutely pumped them. I think it was bottom of the table to start with, which was fantastic, really, for us. It was a real morale booster. It was also a game that we decided we are going to have a little bit of rotation and bring some of the players who don't really play that often. So we had Jelenik come back in because we've been playing McGlaw much more. We also had Anas Ahanak start because we've been playing with Pohjalainen recently. And we also let Daniel Bradick get a game just because he's a fringe player. He needs to play a game, say, every 7 to 10 games or something just to keep him happy. That's fine. We're going to find some lower quality games to put him into just to keep him happy. And then we can play our big boys, Timey and McGlaw, in the games that matter, and maybe Jelenik because he always likes to pop up with a goal every now and then from a corner. Next up, we went into the Suomen Cup where we was against our affiliate PIF, who are in the league below in the Ykkönen. Again, this was pretty much where we played a lot of the rotational players, let them have some game time, and Simo Roiha decided to pull out a hat trick, so he's definitely going to have to start in our next game, which is one of the biggest games of the season, very early on. And that's against our city rivals, FC Interturku. Both of us play at the same stadium. I think the capacity at the stadium is like 9,000, but like 4,000 or something is expected, which is a little bit underwhelming, but hopefully over time we can get them attendances up. I think only 400 of the fans is theirs, which is kind of weird seeing as everyone's in the same city. If the game had some logic, it'd probably be almost like a full stadium, to be honest, especially because everyone would be from the city. But either way, we're going to go into the next game, which is against our rivals. And we're going to go back to the positive mentality. And I believe a lot of changes is going to be needed here. We can bring Oyampira off. We'll let him play in the cup game for a little bit of first team experience. We're going to keep Royha in. Then we're going to work backwards on the team sheet here. Add your boy in there. Stojkovic back on. Osede in. Pohjalainen straight in. We're still giving Kalina some time to adapt to this role. He has gone from, I think is it incompetent or like useful to now being, competent. So we're actually getting some stats. His register's only down here, which is kind of weird because he's somewhat decent in all the stats. But with a midfielder, apparently is. To say he's got some very low stats here, apparently he's much more suited to that, which is kind of weird. But either way, he's getting his game time. He's slowly building towards playing the register back up for us because Eric Macichak is our big boy in that regard. He's actually worth up to 425k, which would be an insane amount of money for us at this level if he went, which realistically we don't want that to happen, not for quite a while. Let's have our big boys in. We need all the firepower we can get. And Hoxha can come straight in. Horton can come off a Sunman, just have a bit of a fullback as backup. I think Rantanen tends to pop up quite well in games, so we'll keep him. And Ahanak played okay in the last game. And Kalina, it's kind of always a struggle. I always want Ahanak or Kalina, and it's kind of planning on whether which one of these is going to get a sub. And you may have noticed, if you quite an eagle eye on the tactic, we've changed Pohjalainen from a centre mid support to a Mazzala support. I think we're kind of missing someone getting up to these spaces. I mean, maybe I might. You know what? I'm going to try and get further forward because I don't want him to be sat like here. I want him to be like here, like whilst we're all pushing up, because we do have the numbers up there, but we just need a guy here to pull all the strings for us and get them killer passes going. Aside from that, I think we are ready to go, and we really need to get a big result out of this game. That is for sure. So we've pumped a fist. We've told them how much a rivalry means, and everyone knows exactly what a rivalry means. Let's get in. Let's hopefully blow them out of the water and really show the league what we're about. Because we're being tipped for relegation, which I understand because we're the newly promoted team, but we really need to show some intent. Here we go. Actually, this is the first highlight, believe it or not, in the 41st minute. And it's a big ball over the top. Royer. Oh, he just couldn't make the most of it. And another big ball. Stojkovic. Get in. Pohjalainen. He pays us back with keeping him on the pitch because it is always a toss-up between Pohjalainen and Ahanak of who to play because they're both about the same. Pohjalainen is the younger player who has much more potential, but Ahanak is a 3-star centre mid who can easily go to 4. It's just a matter of form and all that kind of stuff, really, all the little mini factors. But let's pump the fist, keep working hard. I'm proud of what they're doing so far. I think Royhat is going to have to come off because he's starting to get a little bit gassed out, and we don't want him to be completely gassed. I'm actually going to call this guy Santi from now on because I think it suits much better. A little bit like Santiago Muniz, an absolute wizard. We are going to bring Ahanak on and I think leave it there for the time being. I'm not happy that Hoxha's on a 6.3, 6.4 now. It's not the best, but we move as long as we get the win. This game is a very low amount of highlights, which is kind of weird. We've got to keep everyone on here. We're actually going to bring Hämäläinen on, some experience to try and see the game out. Please don't concede. We conceded. Oh no. Let's demand more again from the boys. This is ours. Win that header. Love that, McLaw. That's why you're in the team. The backstick, Hämäläinen. The veteran comes on and he scores. It's exactly. We love to see that. I can match your boy. And we're going to go very defensive and be a big scumbag and look to waste time as much as possible. We can give the Diego Simeone the little shake, if you know what I'm talking about. A big win against the rivals, outstretched. Close fought rivalry, good result, boys. Loved that. I'm so happy that Hämäläinen got the winner as well. One thing I was going to brush over, which I think is quite important for, especially for the people who like the micro details in these kind of saves, is that our average training rating has now started to go up significantly. It was like 5.5, 6, and now it's gone to 7.2, and we're having much less players now and kind of getting some different names in the best performing training performances, like Kalle Taimi. He's not always up there, but he's decent. I think Hoxha is probably the only player who's consistently top 3. But it's very good to see that the worst performers is now starting to thin out a lot more. And today is the game of the Suomen Cup quarterfinals, I think it was. And we definitely didn't want to do this. I'm going to have to change that again. Defend narrowly. Put that back to normal. And it's tough because we don't really have much options here. I think we're going to have to keep Hyvärinen in the game. And I think Jelenik can come on because he does do a job and he has gone up again. Hoxha can get in there. We need to keep Machak. He's our creative wizard. I think we can bring Rantanen in here. And Pyla is going to... In fact, we're going to play Hammerleinen to start with because he played so well and came on and got that winner for us. We need some experience in against a tough team like this. And I think Pohjalainen should be fine. I think having Kalina on the bench for Magicek is going to be important. And hopefully we can go out and get this win. It's going to be a very tough game though, this. We've got nothing to lose here. Yeah, I think that works. Let's pump the fists. And hopefully it'll be enough for us. We did very well against them in the first game of the season. In fact, it wasn't the first game of the season. Not for the league at least, it was for the cup. So we've done very well and should have beaten them that time. Hopefully form continues for us and they've not... It wasn't just like a minor blip for them at the start of the season. But ultimately, I guess this is like the Kingpin club. And Pyla hits the post. What a start that would have been. Have a little bit of possession here. Good save. Hopefully we can get some pressing going here because we really need this ball back. I don't want to see negative. Pyla. He's made it count this time. Onnipekka Pyla. What a name. What a goal. Hammerleinen coming up clutch with the assist. I do think second half, Hyvärinen going to have to come off. Because I don't remember if we have a game again in like 3-4 days, but this is kind of a little bit of micromanagement needed to make sure we have our best squad. Pyla, come on. Oh, he took it around the keeper. Another duo link up. Hammerleinen and Pyla. It's a very, very good start for us. And hopefully we can hold this going into the second half. Whoa, let's not let the ball go straight over. Love that. Should see this half out now. I'm pleased we've created loads, keep morale high. I could have told them about, you know, keeping the head of the game and all that sort of stuff, but I think just maintaining the positive momentum will be enough. I think it's the best way this team reacts. A Magicek, if he had popped that on top bins, I think it would have been done. I do think now is going to be the time to start making substitutions. I think as well as Hammerleinen has been doing, he's going to have to stay on the whole game here. I think Hyvärinen is going to have to come off because we don't really have a right back. I mean, Timey fits in, but I'd rather play him centre back. And we have Sundman who can play for Hoxha in the next game if he's too tight. And we can, I think Stojkovic can come on for Pohjalainen. He can play centre mid quite well. And we get to keep Hammerleinen on as we wanted. Pyla. Oh, it's 3! It's a Hattie against HJK. This is exactly what you need. We're taking down the big dogs. Of course we're going to keep the tactical change. And I was going to be a little rodent and put the waste time wherever possible and defensive, but Pohjalainen with an assist contributing before he goes off the pitch. I think either way I'm going to waste time after this. Oh, I think we can make more subs. I did not actually realise. In which case I'll switch the tactic. No. He's absolutely smashing him. He's just a puppet master. He's just playing with them. Let's look at these subs. Sundman. Right. Well, now I'm annoyed because I could have saved his stamina a little bit. And I guess we can bring Rantanen off. Hammerleinen has played a great game, and Pyla by far has just absolutely smashed Helsinki. This looks like it's a good squad as well that they've put out. So this is the kind of momentum we need going into the league. Because I should imagine it's not too long now until we face them in the league, and hopefully we can recreate that and really really put a signal out to everyone else that we're not here to mess about. Outstretched arms. We need to give him. In fact, we can give a few of these players an individual shout out. Stojkovic, Hammerlainen, and Pohjalainen. You did well out there. This is something you absolutely love to see. HJK hammered by TPS this early on as well is fantastic for us. We're now in the semi-final. This Big Ten rating, 6 shots, 4 goals. With 6 shots on target, that is at least. That's like 85%, I think, of his shots. So maybe, 7 shots or something he had total? Very good. He's only 19 as well, so put our arm around him and say, thanks for that one, son. Keep it up. And I think from there on, we're going to call it for today. We might as well end on a high. I was thinking about playing another game, but beating HJK 4-0, why not? In fact, we didn't even need to make all them subs. We could have actually put some kids on the but then again, I was going to say we could have put some kids on the bench for the HJK game and gave them a run out when it was like 3-0 up, but I didn't actually check the schedule, which is my bad, I guess. So I could have given them some good playing time in a big event to try and help their development. It doesn't matter though. We got the win. That's the important part. And I think morale's going to be high. Goals are flowing now, which is great from the past 4 games. I think in terms of when we come back, I'm thinking I want to blast through a little bit, but I do think the HJK game is where I want to come back. And then maybe after that, I can go into Turku again. I think they're going to be pretty much the key games where I base the episode's length on and how far I go in between. I think HJK and into Turku, and if any other teams start becoming a bit of a big deal in the league, at least in the save, then I think we'll start highlighting them games more. But aside from that, HJK into Turku, I think are the biggest games really that we need to cover at this moment in time, because when we get to Europe, I guess that's going to be one of the more centerpieces, as well as like HJK into Turku. But either way, we'll go out on a high. I'll take that all day long. If you've enjoyed watching this, drop a like on the video and be sure to subscribe to be ready for the next episode that will come out. As for me, that's everything. Peace.